Oh, good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden, and it's my joy to be on the air. So thank you so much. And hey, my next guest will be coming on probably in about 5 minutes. And so I'll just go ahead and just talk about springtime. Gabriel Prawl is going to come on. He's president of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. He's going to talk a little bit about that. And then I will have Esha Covington from Jacksonville, Florida. She's going to talk about what's happening in Florida right now, what happened to Florida. Oh, lots of things that's going on down in Florida. But hey, we have an interesting weather here today, and I like it. It's a really a nice spring-like weather today. It's not too cold, and it's really not too hot yet. Not yet. We might get some more warm days, but as it stands right now, it's just almost just right. And I'm still vibing from having a great Mother's Day. Let me give you a little update about Mothers for Police Accountability, because we've been around for a long, long time. 34 years. Wow, that's a long time. A whole generation plus. And our goal is to keep the grassroots voice alive, not only in Seattle, but around the country. And with guests from a variety of different places. Also, our program is also it's a podcast. You can listen to it again or tell your friends about it. And I want to thank all our supporters who support mothers. We've been on there since 2014. I've interviewed quite a few people locally and across the country, and also in other places. I also had some one-on-ones from Tanzania, and also down in Puerto Rico. So, and I'm looking for someone to be on from Jamaica real soon. Working on the show maybe from Jamaica. But one of the things that we want to continue to talk about is not only police accountability, but also what mothers have done is that we've broadened our scope to not only be concerned about police violence, but also violence in the community. We believe now it has to be a parallel track, that we just can't talk about police accountability and work on police accountability. We're not talking about violence in the community, because violence in the community is really something is paramount right now. I mean, young people are harming themselves, not only in Seattle, but around the country. And so we wonder what is happening to a country where the young people don't want to live. I mean, there's something about that's going on right now. And it's almost it's an epidemic. And we have to be willing to talk about that. So anyway, my guest, Mr. Gabriel Prawl, has arrived here. So I'll go ahead and bring Gabriel on without a break, and then we'll do a break a little later. His name is Gabriel. You want to unmute yourself? Oh, hi. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Gabriel is president of the local chapter of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. He's been on many times. I'm a member there. And I wanted Gabriel to come on today at short notice, and he was gracious to say yes to talk about what's happening in the local chapter. And I know that there's a convention coming up soon, and also how people can really get involved with the A. Philip Randolph Institute if they want, if they locally, either if they're not locally, but they want to know more about it. I thought you'd be a good person to come on, and I think it's a chapter meeting tonight, I believe. So, how you doing, Mr. Paul? How you doing, Gabriel?
I'm doing fine, my Harriet, and thank you for inviting me to your show. I'm always grateful and willing when you invite me to your show because you getting the word out is very important, and educating the country on what's going on is also very important. So I thank you for that work you're doing.
Well, I thank you for work you're doing, and continue to do. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility being a president of any kind of group, and
That's
especially when you are working, and then you this A. Philip Randolph is one of the oldest affiliates with the unions for a long, long time. So you do a lot of good work all the way back to all the way back to Katrina and all the other work that you all have done. and doing things. Also, I think you also gathered things for Haiti at one time. I'm not sure, but I know you all have done a lot. So anyway, I'm going to let you just give us a little talk about who you are, what you do, and why A. Philip Randolph Institute and the work of ASA is still important today.
Thank you, Mallory. So, as the president of A. Philip Randolph Institute Seattle chapter, I'm also past president of the International Longshore and Whales Union. So we are doing a lot of, being continuously tireless, doing a lot of work following our fearless past leader, Berlin Jones Davis, who also was a mentor to me and teach me a lot of the things that I do today with A. Philip Randolph. And next in 2 months, in July, we have our educational conference coming up. It's going to be in Hollywood, Florida. And I'm so excited because as we know, we got election coming up, and Florida is one of the main locations that people need to be focusing on educating people on who are the candidates, what is at stake, and what we can lose when it comes to democracy in this country. So I'm glad that APRI is going to be mobilizing people in Florida. It's going to be doing outreach when it comes to get out the vote activity and putting the information out for people to know. Because if you don't have the information, then you don't know what direction you need to go.
Right. Right. I think you might hear some noise here. I can't do anything about it. It's a wagon here. I'm downtown by my office, but hopefully it will be gone in a few minutes here. This person is doing his work. He's a union worker doing his work.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, go ahead.
But I want to share too some of the things that we are planning, like we have been doing Juneteenth for a long time. In the past 4 years, we did Juneteenth on the waterfront in Seattle. And we got the union to be involved in leading this. This is the first, Juneteenth has always been celebrated by the community. This is the first time that unions have come together and celebrate Juneteenth. And A. Philip Randolph Seattle led that movement.
Right.
And in doing so, I was able to get my union to make Juneteenth a pay holiday for our longshoremen, which is big win for working people, because now every year they will be getting paid for it, and if they work, they also get time and a half. That's double pay in one day. So that's a huge win for working people on the waterfront. But one of the interesting things for this year we are connecting with, we're not doing it in Seattle, we're doing it jointly with our organization in Canada. And this organization is called the Hogan's-Halley Association. And Hogan's-Halley, who knows about Hogan's-Halley?
I don't know what that is, so I haven't heard of that one before.
So, Hogan's-Halley is a black neighborhood, used to be the black neighborhood in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay.
And if you go back and look at the history of Hogan's-Halley, Hogan's-Halley is the place where black that was leaving the South, heading towards Canada, that's where they stopped, right there, in that neighborhood, Hogan's-Halley. Surprisingly, and what makes it more interesting to me is that I found out that the sleeping car porters, the union that A. Philip Randolph organized, that's where they went, was a safe place to find lodging on black restaurants, black club, places where they felt safe when they traveled to Canada. Most people that was moving from the South stopped in the Central District, but those that continue, they went to the Hogan's-Halley neighborhood in Canada.
Oh, this is wonderful. So, this is great history.
I took a trip just to see the neighborhood. And amazing that I saw a mural that had different pictures of leaders and activists. And guess what? I saw 2 porters sitting in that mural as well. So that confirmed the history of what Ogan's Alley, the connection that Seattle and Ogan's Alley have. Not only that, I found out that the first AME church from Seattle built the first AME church in that neighborhood as well.
Wow. I doubt the people who go to First AME Church today know that.
No,
You know what? I'm
so
gonna reach out to. It'd be interesting to reach out to Pastor Kerry Anderson about that piece of history. Wow.
yeah, that would be great because that church is known is a exhibit for touring. It's still
Really?
there. People
Wow.
go tour. So we planning on working. We kind of join with. I'm working with leaders in my union,
Yeah.
international leaders in my union, to support our Juneteenth event, dinner event, and speaking event with this community organization. And right now,
Wow.
we're in the process of doing that. And
Well, let us know how mothers could be involved, you know, I mean, because wow, that's interesting. Now, what part of Vancouver is that? I mean, do you
down
know?
close to downtown Vancouver.
Okay,
So
so it's close to
like eight
downtown
minutes. Yes,
Vancouver.
like 8 minutes from downtown Vancouver.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up. I'll call you when afterward to get the
But you
correct.
can go and look the website up. It's there, and you will see everything you need to know. And it's a lot of history to it. It was amazing. I think that's a big breakthrough because they say if we don't write our history, nobody
It
will
won't
know.
get, yeah. And
Exactly.
how do you spell that alley? I mean, how do you spell the word?
A Organs Alley,
Oregon.
HOG
Oh,
organs like
okay.
HOGANS,
Oh, okay.
and then Alley, ALLEY. And you Google just you understand in 1952, the Vancouver police beat a black man up, and the black man died 2 years later. That black man happened to be a longshoreman at the time,
Oh, really?
sitting in
Wow.
a restaurant waiting for his girlfriend. And then the racist police came in and harassed him. And then they end up beating him. And he ended up in the hospital. 2 days later, he died. One of the
Wow.
things that the newspaper put out that he was working on the waterfront doing hard work, and he probably would have died anyway if he even touched him. So yeah, yeah. But
Oh, yeah.
it's just
His life wasn't worth too much because he was already gonna die.
yes, exactly. So that's the history is
Wow.
amazing, and the connection with the organization leadership, working with them is great opportunity for us to expand that history that we have connected with Seattle and Ogan's Alley, and that most people do not know about it, or they has not. It's a hidden history.
So it look like we have some background noise just coming in. Just a moment. Okay. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
So what I was saying is that hidden history that people needs to know. This
Yes.
connection that Seattle has always had with Ogan's Alley. Many of our leaders have gone there and speak in Ogan's Alley, but it has not been advertised or even been part of the historical of Black.
No, and especially if the AME Church here built it, and the AME Church here is the oldest church. It was one of the oldest churches built in Washington State. Is the church here, the AME Church here,
That's correct.
and to know that there's a sister church up in Vancouver, Canada. It's really interesting. I'm going to reach out to Pastor Carey about this information and to see. I mean, he might already know, or then he might not. But if he knows, he can tell
I'm
me.
pretty sure he knows.
Okay.
He should. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knows. But the idea of that linking that and maybe if he available to show up and when we're doing the Juneteenth, that would be even great. Good.
Right. And where is it? Is it going to be on the waterfront this year, Juneteenth? Is it going to be?
It's gonna be in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Holly.
So we're going to be it's going to be in Canada. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Well, I got a ready passport.
Okay. So
My passport is ready.
the brothers in my union, the African American Longshore Coalition, they decided that they wanted to join to do this together.
Okay.
So they have been part of helping with the international to be a sponsor of this event. And we want
Wow.
to be able to set up so we could do a tour at the Hogan's Alley neighborhood so people could see some of this historical stuff that still exists, including mural on the AME church, like I said, and other stuff that in communities that is being trying to preserve, because just like the Central District, that community is being gentrified as well.
Of course, that's just the way of that's just really what's happening. Isn't that amazing? Wow. I mean, it's it's what we don't know that changes the world. Because when we find out what we don't know, then we can begin to make some differences about it. I'm on a Juneteenth program here in Seattle, but I think it's the day before Juneteenth. There's a lot of things going on. So
Yes, yes.
wow. Wow. This is
Yeah.
I'm really empowered by this because I grew up AME Methodist. So anytime I hear anything about AME Methodist, I always get excited because that's a church of my origin growing up. So, and I know all the good work that they did. They were the history keepers for the Black
Exactly.
community, the
Yeah.
history keepers, because they started Watch Night in 1862, December 31st, waiting for Lincoln to sign the paper. So,
Yes.
so that would so it's called Free the and Bond
One
These
of the
People.
first Black churches.
Yes.
And that's why it's important that we preserve that history. It's important also that we educate people in that history. And I'm just glad that we was able to discover that history that's been hidden for so long.
Oh yeah, and
I
especially
think the
when
people in Canada and the Hogan's are so glad to make that connection as well.
well, but then also a longshoreman. I mean, it's like wow, I mean, and that just goes to show you the international work that the longshoreman is connected to. I mean, the sports and knowing that these are good jobs. I mean, and one thing about good jobs, it raises the standard of living for everybody. I mean,
Exactly.
that's why a lot of people don't want the unions, and a lot of states don't have because really it's one way to keep people poor. If you have one person working on the same job and that person is making way more money than the other person who might be in another from another race, another ethnicity making less money, then you don't raise the level of living does not raise for everybody. And one thing about a good job, and that's why I always talk about good jobs, good paying jobs raises the standard of living for everybody. You go to the barber shop more, your wife gets her hair done more, you get more food in the refrigerator, you have more gas to put in the car, you put circulate money. And for working people, for people not understanding that absolutely keeps people in poverty, especially when people want a job, and that type of thing. So I'm
And
always
that's it. That's correct. And that's the great thing about longshore jobs is that everybody make the same money, whether you're in the union or out of the union. You do the job, you get the same type of pay based on your time in the industry.
right.
Women's, men's, young people, everybody make the same. You can be young and become rich because you're making the same kind of money that a guy that's been there 30 years or 25 years making as a young man. So that's the great thing about having that type of union jobs.
Well, that's wonderful. And I know we have a meeting tonight, a chapter meeting, I believe,
That's
here.
correct.
That's right. That's right. And I plan to attend the chapter meeting. Not
Great,
we
great.
be
Because I'll be sharing some important stuff on my last trip that I did, which was my trip. My wife and I and a lot of union people did to Cuba, and
okay.
that was really, really a great experience that I would like to share with a lot of people. Uh,
Oh yeah,
yes.
I'm excited to hear about that because I know a lot of people have gone to Cuba and they always come back with some good reports. I mean, you got some other stuff going on, but basically you got some good stuff, and I look forward to that. Well, we're gonna just thank you for coming on. Did you have anything else you want to announce about the conference again? If anybody, but you have to
Yes.
be
So
able.
our conference is on July 15th to the 18th. And we will we have registration form if anybody wants to come. We also encourage people to join Philip Roundup because there's a lot of work to do. It's work that we need to
Yes.
get done and do to make this not only this city or this state but this country a better place to live. We have to prepare the future for our new generation because we can see in the direction that we're going right now. We're in trouble. This is not no joke. Okay, so let's be real
Yeah.
about it. We're in trouble and we got a lot of work to do. And we got to get busy and we got to educate people. And we got to get our young people up to date and doing the right thing and fighting with us to secure a future for them.
Yeah, we got to encourage them, and we got to explain to them why it's important to vote. Because right now a lot of them are discouraged. My granddaughter, a lot of young people who are under 30, I mean, they're not willing to choose between the less of two evils, they say. So think we got our work cut out for us, and
And that's very critical. That's
it is,
very, very
it
critical.
is.
And you see, one of the things that we have to do, Harriet, is that also, as we educate our young people about the importance of voting, we also have to have a demand. We have to have a demand for our community, a demand for our people on what we want when we vote. This
Right.
is what we want in response, not just vote, but we have to have a demand. We want to make sure the Voting Rights Act is passed when we get you in office. We want to make sure that student loans are being paid. We want to make sure that there's funding for education. I mean, all the basic needs that our community's been changed from. We want to make sure that we not only talking about encourage them to vote, but also making sure that those that we vote in office understand that when we get you there, this is what we want. There's no compromising.
Wow, I agree with you on that because that's what happens all the time. Well, I want to appreciate you coming on the Mother's Justice Show, and I guess I'll see you later. I'll see you at the meeting tonight. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then. Thank you. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. I'll be right back.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Calling all moms and caregivers. We have the same awesome show with a new name on KKNW. Tune in Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. for Beam Stories with Amy Kugler. We'll talk about the challenging and hilarious moments about motherhood that we rarely say out loud. Sharing our stories shows we're not alone. Join us for Beam Stories with Amy Kugler on Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m.
Alternative Talk 1150, the talk of the sound.
I love that song, Bridge Over Troubled Water. All right, this is Reverend Walden on 1150 AM KKNW on Mother's Justice Show. And it's my joy to be on the air today. And one of my guests is coming on. Mr. Eddie Rye is going to come on right now, and I'm still waiting on my guest from Florida to come on. But you listen to us on the 1150 AM KKNW. It's my joy to be on there. All right, Mr. Rye, thank you for coming on.
Okay. Yeah, well, we're still fighting the same fights.
Yeah.
So what else is new?
Well, I tell you, Gabriel was just on talking about some information up in Canada that the longshoremen's is going to be involved with up there, and something around Juneteenth is where they're going to be at. Yeah, it is this fight is going on, isn't it?
No question about it. I mean, we have a situation where in Sound Transit, for example, we went to the board meeting last month, and there was a meeting with the Minority Business Advisory Committee, and the new interim CEO is talking about placing the Office of Civil Rights, Diversity, and Inclusion underneath the Department of Human Resources. But the federal government says that the DBE or equity officer must report directly to the CEO. And then further, the next item on that CFR 4926 says the federal funding for transportation is dependent upon that structure. So I discussed it already with, I made the presentation at the board meeting on behalf of our President Bob Armstead, who's president of the Washington chapter of the National Association of Minority Contractors, and actually discussed it with the chair, Dow Constantine. And I also discussed it with several other board members as well. But, this is an interim CEO. And as a matter of fact, it's really surprising. He had support from one of the Black leaders at the meeting. About you were already being left out, and the guarantee for us to be put in is being challenged right now by interim CEO who is defying the federal law. So some folks got upset when Bob Armstead said, Title VI prevents what they're trying to do, and we're going to continue to fight it.
Well, that's what we're going to have to continue to do.
I mean, we're not doing that well anyway, and now you want to get rid of the only guarantee that we might participate? So, no, that's just totally unacceptable. And I just can't understand where some of our Black business leaders are when they're going to go along with something like that to officially allow somebody to erase us completely out of participating at Sound Transit. So, we're not doing that well in any agency right now as African descendants of the United States enslaved. But I did hear some good news that people now are looking at lineage. Why should African descendants of the United States enslaved have to get behind anybody else in America who just got here last week? I'm not opposed to equality and participation, but at the same time, we cannot allow any government agency to erase the law that will eliminate us. So anyway, it sounds like your guest has come on.
Well, yes, she's on from Florida, but you go ahead and finish up, and I'll bring her on in a few minutes. And we're just going to talk about, because Florida is going through the same thing beyond. I mean, Florida is pretty much some steps ahead of Washington State and trying to make sure that Black people don't have anything. So,
well, it's really something. My daughter has a podcast with Tiffany Cross and Andrew Gillum, who was the mayor of Tallahassee and ran for governor against Ron DeSantis. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I get a chance to hear quite a bit about what's happening in Florida. The name of their podcast is Native Land Pod, and folks need to check it out. Right now, Angela, my daughter's involved with this deal, trying to get a pardon for Marilyn Mosby, the former mayor of Baltimore, that the Trump administration Justice Department went after and made these charges on her. And we can't get our current Attorney General, Merrick Garland, seems that he doesn't have any interest in getting justice for Black folks. We've had a complaint filed with him 3 years ago, supported by Senator Patty Murray, Congressman Adam Smith, Congressman Benny Thompson, and Congressman Marilyn Strickland. We referred your complaint to the Department of Transportation 3 years ago. We not heard one word. And now we're talking about what? Re-election time? And we know how bad Trump is, but if you're getting left out, no matter who's in office, left out is being left out.
It's left out is being left out. But, we are the cheese that stands alone. I mean,
that's really, it.
I mean, if we could get that and then organize again with ourselves and pool our whatever resources we have, but ourselves and move forward, we are the cheese that stands alone. Hi-yo, the Cheerio. The cheese stands alone. So, all right, Mr. Ryan, thank you for coming on and helping me out.
Oh, absolutely. I'm married anytime. You know that.
All right. Thank you so much.
And thank you for what you do. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, I'll bring my next guest on before I take a break here. I want to bring my guest on from Florida, Esha Covington. And I thank you so much, Esha, for coming on. I know that you're busy down in Florida. You're a great person down there that's doing some of the civil rights work. It's actually, I don't know why we call it civil rights, because these are human rights. We have a right. We have a right that the law that can't give us. We have a right as human beings to exist. So you want to unmute yourself and come on. Hey, how are you?
Hey, yes, I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm fine now that you're here. And I know that I put up your topic would be what happened to Florida. You've been a Floridian most of your life. It is interesting. My first guest, Gabriel, the A. Philip Randolph Conference convention is going to be in Hollywood, Florida. And they're going to be organizing down there. So they're going to be doing a lot of organizing on getting the vote out. That's what A. Philip Randolph does when they come to a certain place. And Florida is one of the states that they're going to be working to get the vote out. So anyway, you want to tell the community what you do? I mean, I know you do a lot in Jacksonville. You've been involved with trying to getting the voting rights drawn again, taking away the rights of people in Jacksonville, the rights of Black people to vote by drawing them out. And I think you were involved with drawing them back in. So you want to talk about that and introduce yourself
Yes.
again?
So I am a community activist, and I've been involved in politics and community activism since 2006 when I
Right.
ran for city council as a form of protest. My best friend, Jackie Brown, who then dressed up as Aunt Jemima and went to city council and was arrested for protesting. It was a form of protest. We had been going to city council asking for our money, asking for infrastructure for our communities, asking for different projects, and we were getting nowhere. And Jackie Brown was a very close friend of mine. She was a Black contractor, and she actually pulled herself off food stamps, welfare, and out of public housing, and went to college and got a degree. And she had 8 brothers, and she ran the business, the contracting business. The city would not pay them for laying concrete, and so Jackie took it upon herself as a form of protest. We began to go to city council to try to get work for Black contractors. So that was my introduction to the city of Jacksonville and all of the injustice that was being done against African Americans and people that we considered affluent because they owned their own business, they were entrepreneurs, and they couldn't gain access to the credit. They created Jackie asked for a narrowly tailored program for African Americans. They were denied. And so thus began my fight to level the playing field for African Americans in this city.
Wow.
And to date, in 2024, we've been taken back. How do you go back after fighting so hard to level the playing field? In education, they pushed us back. We're at the point now where they're laying off teachers. And what the governor did, the Governor DeSantis and the Republican Party have been very strategic in making the gay rights, the sexual transgender identity issues, and pushing those issues. But the real agenda was to take the funding from public schools.
Wow.
So they created charter because public schools were failing our children. And my best friend, Eunice Barnum, was on a lawsuit where we sued the city of Jackson. We sued Duval County for not educating our students. It's called No Child Left Behind law.
Wow.
And the judge would not render a decision on what's a high quality education. So there was no agreement made that they were not educating students in public schools, and thus came charter. And once they introduced charter, it's a group of schools that is under the umbrella of charter, and they then began to give the money to private schools.
Right. That's all it is. It's private. It's another way of funding money, taxpayers' money to private schools. It's not religious because that was prohibited at one time.
Right.
Yeah, right. So yeah.
And, correct. And so as a result, where we stand today, they're going through our public schools, which are in predominantly poor, Black, failing neighborhoods with failing infrastructure, trying to decide which ones to close and which ones to keep open.
Well, now, do you have any Black people who's trying to stop that, or if all of the middle class Black people are at charter schools now?
They have most of the Black community really have moved on from our failing schools in the urban core, because they offer charter with free uniforms and free school supplies and free transportation, underwritten with charter. The way they fund charter gets the funding before public schools. They get everything they ask for almost financially. And so they're able to offer more benefits than public schools.
Now, what does the NAACP say about that? I mean, are they for charter
Well,
or
the
not?
NAACP does have an educational branch, and to date, it's ran by Isaiah Rumlin, and Isaiah Rumlin has kind of their party has not done anything of significance to protect the interests of African American students
Wow,
or the parents in the city.
Yeah.
And they also signed off on the lawsuit when we sued in regards to redistricting.
Redistricting, right.
And that was the NAACP. And Isaiah Rumlin, to me, he kind of dropped the ball because he never made a statement in regards to his personal position on these issues and how the organization was going to move. And since he didn't step up, and they're kind of the largest civil rights organization in this country, these changes have been made slowly but surely.
Wow.
They have moved away from like I said, moved away from the public schools, which they're going to leave them holding the bag. And it's an African American school board member, Darrell Willie, that's leading the charge.
Yeah, well, let's take a break. Let's take a break on that piece and come back and continue this discussion here. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. We'll be right back.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Alternative Talk 1150, local talk for the body, mind, and soul.
You're listening to Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. That song always takes me back to Allen Chapel AME Church in Sanford, Florida. Oh, as a child, so I love that song. Yeah, let's continue this upheaval in Florida because it's always been a fight to get Black kids educated, and that's one of the reasons why it was against the law for a slave to know how to read. So it looked like we headed back that way. I mean, if we don't stand up for all the Black kids. So I just wanted to ask you this question on the air: does this look like a case of classism, Black classism?
Yes. If you can afford, or if you can get your child into the schools, the charter schools, the charter schools are even selectively denying access to children who can't perform.
Right.
So the kids who are low performing, low achieving are screened out, are pushed out.
Right. And I think that's the plan, because really, if the public system is closed down, these children are going to wind up being criminals. Okay, because there is no way to educate them unless the communities get up and just open up some community schools, but then you're going to have to worry about how you're going to get them accredited. I mean, it just seems to me that Florida is a bellwether state, so I'm not, after a while, Georgia and Mississippi are going to probably do the same thing. I mean, in the other places, and that's why we need some strong organizing in America today. Actually, Marcus Garvey, what he did is that he organized poor people. He organized poor people and uneducated people, and someone has to organize the people who are the marginal on the margins, to organize them, to get them empowered, to recognize the fact that they have a right to be educated and they have a right to everything that's in America. And I think that's what's going to have to happen to actually break down the classism that it's classism in every community, but it's pronounced in ours. And I coming from the South, I understand Black classism. It's everywhere.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And so what they've done is almost create, excuse me, create a group of African Americans that think they're better, their kids are better.
that's right. That's a
And it's an
classism. See,
illusion.
it's an
It's a it's a
illusion.
it's an illusion because the charter school, the funding is built on the poor kids. They need those poor kids that
Right,
are financially getting the free lunch.
right.
That's where the funding lies.
So they're
So
taking the money from the poor kids. I think that I think that's a big scam, and I believe all school districts does that. Because
mhm.
really, once you sign up for free lunch, they're not going to teach you because the statistics shows that these kids, so they say, is not going to make it, and so it's not in the effort, and they just warehousing those kids. See, and it's been going on a long time. That's why I would never ever sign up for nothing free. I never signed up for nothing free because I knew intuitively that people who sign up for free stuff, they're not going to teach their kids because they know that they already make an assumption that those kids are not going to make it. See,
Right.
and
And
I
I had to remember when my mom was raising us, she didn't allow us to get free stuff.
no,
My father didn't either.
no,
And I had to have a job to pay for different things. And as I look back on it, I say she created in us a work ethic and also a sense of pride
right,
in
that's
ourselves
right,
and knowing we could get up with our own ingenuity and
that's right,
figure life out.
that's right,
And,
that's
and I
right.
think that the word free, when I see people who are in that mentality of getting something for free, and I
Mm.
begin to say, there's nothing for free.
Free.
Someone has paid the cost for that, like
But
our ancestors paid for our ability to vote.
be, well, yeah, but also when you take a lot of things that's so-called free, you're giving up your dignity. You're
Yes,
giving up your self-respect and how they're going to treat you or how they're treating your children. More importantly, see, and I taught my kids that, that smart people take a lunch too, you know, and
yes,
that's,
yes,
smart people might be going to go saving some money so they could go to Disney or whatever. I mean, not fantasize sons of Walt Disney, but they might want to take a trip and do something. So I taught my kids that smart people take lunches, okay? That you're not destitute because you take a lunch. You take a lunch because you're smart.
yes, yes, yes. And so,
And those kind of things, and it kind of weaves a way around being so-called poor, poverty, or not having. Because when you give her another mindset, then the children can understand. Okay, we're just doing something else with our money. And
yes,
we take a
yes,
lunch,
yes,
see, and those are kind of things that we could take to talk to teach our children to be resilient. But it seems to me that we really do need a poor people's campaign. And
yes,
I know that Dr. King was working on a poor people's campaign when he got killed in Memphis. And Dr. Barber, I think he is out of North Carolina. He's working on a poor people's campaign. But around education, boy, you really needs a poor people's campaign to make sure that educated kids, poor kids can be, I mean, there's structural racism. They're not poor on their own regards. We have to always remember that the structural racism is the reason why people are poor. I mean, and, really and truly, it's the systems that's designed to keep them that way. And Florida has been on keeping them that way.
yes, yes. I had helped one of the builders of the charter school, and I didn't dive in until after the fact because they only presented to you what they wanted you to see.
Right,
And what
right,
they did was I started going to several meetings, and we got to stop letting them just give us a baseline and that's good enough.
right,
And as I began to go to different meetings with different people, the messages changed based on the audience.
right.
and it's Hillsborough Academy. I was trying to think of who was driving this methodology of teaching, and it's Hillsborough Academy, and they've got them all over the country, and they're calling them Classical Academy, but really the real driver is racism.
Right. It is racism because it's the answer to integration. It's the answer to integration. And for other people who might not have a lot of means, who can't put their kids in a private Christian school or a military school like they've done in Florida and all the other southern states, because it is the idea about not having their children to integrate. And this is the answer to it. And so really, it's the reverse. It's the reverse. It's segregation in a way, because a lot of the charter schools is directly down the racial line. Very few of them are integrated. See,
they wouldn't let me in, but I peeked in. I got a chance to see how they segregated the children.
Wow.
By race.
Right.
And not only race, but then they broke them down by what they call the bad children. And so when you thought your child was somewhere getting a good education, they had them segregated by race and then segregated by whatever classification, or like you say, grooming them for jail, grooming your children for prison, having them cleaning the tables and mopping floors. And this is a charter school, and there's no direct repercussions for this behavior.
Right, because there's no union. See, I mean, charter school teachers it's no unions, and because there's no real school board, because nobody's elected. See, you only have accountability when you have a school board with people elected. And so when they get rid of the public schools, they get rid of accountability for the teachers and care for the children. See, that's the way to get rid of a citizen's responsibility to be in charge of education.
Yes, ma'am, and you are absolutely correct. I found that out as well, that they don't really have a school board.
Right,
and
no school boards.
Is the one they all on the board, so they all amen and each other, and that's what I found out. They have total autonomy.
Total autonomy, and parents have no recourse under the law for unless it's something so egregious that they're going to have to make an arrest. That's the only recourse that a parent have. It has to be egregious. It has to be over the top. Otherwise, you have no place to complain to. You have no vehicle to do anything there at all. And it's a bad deal for parents. It's a bad deal for the students. But somebody else is getting rich because the charter schools now are making a lot of money. The people at the top of these charter, and again, it's reverse segregation. It's reverse. It's the opposite of integration. See, and then Brown versus the board was 70 years old this month. It's been 70 years since the decision came down. And we have to say integration has not worked for us in a lot of ways, but what they're doing now is taking you back to unequal education. See?
Yes. So I just wanted to make sure that people understand how bad it is for African Americans in Florida. And it's bad on every level, economically, because inflation and because we're already at the lower scale as far as income, housing, medical care. I took someone to what we call No More Homeless Pets. And she's a African American female. She's in her 70s, and she's taking her animal. And they didn't see any of the African Americans with their pets. They gave them all appointments, but they saw all the white people. And she was so angry. And I know she's going to do something about it, because that's the way she is. And that's the scenario everywhere we go now. We were already low as far as priorities on their priority list. Now we're at the very foot of it, and we never get services. So it's really bad in Florida.
Well, it's really, I have a cousin that lives, I have a cousin that lives in Tampa, and her child is in a charter school. She's a Walden. And so I haven't had her on in a while because what they play, I mean, it's I mean, it's different kinds of communities, and but I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Jacksonville, and that's why I want to always encourage you to continue doing the work because it's hard work, but it's God's work, and
Yes.
somebody has a heart for the people, but also for the children. Because we're not going to have the next generation lined up in prison because we're going to make sure they don't fall. I'll make sure they understand what a felony is because a felon means you're not going to ever get a job in America. You just here. You're not American anymore. But I really appreciate it. I want to encourage you to continue to work. It's hard work. I mean, and most times you don't get paid. A lot of times people take it for granted, and they just want to. And a lot of times people don't want to help themselves. But I want to encourage you to continue to do the work and think about how you can help organize on the people without a school. I mean, call it something. I mean,
Yes, I
and
will.
I'm
And thank
willing to
you.
bring in any kind of resources I can around organizing because I've been organizing for 34 years, a little longer than you have. But I don't know it all. But I just want to encourage you, Aisha, to continue. I mean, because
Thank
it's not
you.
right, and the tradition of the Levines, and Johnny Will and all the people that came before us, continue to do the work, and I'm going to continue to have you own and to see how I can be of assistance from what I know about education and see what I can help you with down in Florida. And I will have the person I know in Tampa on, and I know I have Francis down in Central Florida also. So you continue to have a great day down in Florida. And I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing. It's hard work. I believe me, I know. It's hard work because we're trying to wake up people sometimes who don't want to wake up, but they want to
Yes,
wake
ma'am.
up, but they don't know how to wake up. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, you're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. I'll be back. I'll be back a week after next Monday because Monday's a holiday, and I'm taking that off. But I see you in 2 weeks. Take care and have a great weekend, a great holiday weekend, and all of that coming up. And check us out on podcast.